Hey guys, this is our video for our Let's Play project for IAT 210. My name is Jackie, and with my partner Leejoo, we decided to do our game on Agario. Agario is a massive multiplayer online top-down strategy game that is playable both on browser and mobile. The game was released on April 28, 2015, playable on the browser by Mafias Valadares, a then 19-year-old Brazilian developer. The player manipulates a circular cell using the mouse and keyboard buttons. The goal of the game is to become the biggest cell on the map. To do so, the player should eat smaller cells and survive from bigger cells. After the game's release, it got really popular due to word of mouth on social media. Agario was later released on mobile, both iOS and Android, on July 24, 2015 by Miniclip after they purchased the rights to license the game. However, we'll be focusing mainly on the browser version of Agario. The main goal in Agario is to survive and become the biggest cell on the map. In the browser version of Agario, the player needs to use both mouse and keyboard. Mouse for moving your cell up, down, left, or right, and the keyboard for splitting your cell and giving a piece of yourself. As you see on the top right corner, there is a leaderboard chart, number 1 to number 10, number 1 being the largest cell on the map to number 10 being the 10th largest cell on the map. There is also a ranking beside your name, so currently I'm ranked 50th, that means I'm the 50th largest cell on the map. In order for players to get bigger, one can collect these smaller pieces scattered all around the map, but however, the player can only reach a certain size limit. After that, the player must eat other smaller cells in order to become bigger. Players also have to be mindful of these green spiky things called viruses, because if a player hits this, their cell will split into smaller pieces, making your cells an easier target for other cells, like what just happened there. To sum it all up, the goal of the game is to get as big as you can while surviving as long as possible. However, the bigger your cell gets, the slower you move. So in order to eat smaller cells, one must use the split mechanic by clicking the space button on the keyboard. I demonstrate this mechanic here. The risk of using the space button is that your cell becomes smaller as it splits into two. This makes you a more vulnerable target against other cells. However, after a while, your cell will go back into one bigger cell. When using the split mechanic, it's important to point your mouse cursor to where you want to split. Common mistake that people make is that they might not point at the right direction, so then the person misses their target. Also, as your cell gets bigger and you split, it takes longer for the cells to come together and become one big cell again. Here's another clip of me demonstrating the split mechanic, but this time I demonstrate what happens when you split again after you split once already. So if you already split your cell into two and you click the split mechanic, so the space key again, your cell would split into four and it multiplies by two every time. The second keyboard mechanic is the W key, and the W key essentially gives out a small piece of your cell, but the difference between this and the space button is that you cannot control the cell that you sent out, and it's a very small piece. It's mainly used for feeding others, such as forming alliances like what I'm doing here. And you can also use this mechanic to interact with the virus cells, like in this clip here. This mechanic essentially allows you to shoot out smaller pieces of yourself, and when you feed this viruses enough, the viruses will split. If the viruses hits another cell, it will split the other cell into smaller pieces. Here's another clip of me using this mechanic again. Since the game is so simple in its gameplay and design, we can't really talk about the graphics of the game or the sound effects or the music of the game because the game simply doesn't have that. But I think the simplicity of the game is what makes this game so unique. Agario is mainly played on the browser or mobile, so the simplicity of this game allows anyone to play it. The learning curve is relatively low, and anyone can pick this game up relatively easy. Also, this game can be played anywhere, basically on any computer that has internet or has a browser. This game doesn't require heavy graphics, so even a bad computer can run this game. Agario is a casual game that a player can play when looking for a strategic and competitive experience. The player has to constantly think about how they're going to move around the map and how they're going to eat smaller cells while avoiding bigger cells. This makes Agario a strategic game that involves primary skills such as reasoning and problem solving. Agario is just a game that a person can hop on and play when they're bored and hop off when they have some work to do or they have to go. The game is also very simple and it was developed by one person who posted on 4chan. So it's really cool to see such a simple game that is yet so popular and interesting. These factors make Agario a more casual game, but however, there have been many people who play this game competitively or semi-competitively, who have clans and play with a group of dedicated people. But we are seeing that less and less as the popularity of this game is dying down a bit. Agario is mainly for someone is who can't spend a lot of time on games because they're in school or they have a lot of work, but they want to play some casual games at home before heading to bed or when they have free time. Players who fall under social or mastery in the gamer motivation model will enjoy Agario because Agario is pretty competitive since everyone is competing for the top 10 ladder. And in order for one to get bigger, they must eat other player cells. So that's the competitive side to Agario, while players who enjoy the mastery side will enjoy the strategy behind Agario because players have to constantly think ahead and make decisions in short amount of time. Overall, we really enjoyed playing Agario and making this project, and we hope to see more game developers think of these simple but yet creative ideas in the future. Thank you for listening.